What is going down, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zeri from the XMG coming at you tonight to give you the General Murdoch for noobs. I'm holding off until the night he was launched to release this new video. But before we get into the new video, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone out there who made the Slinger for Noobs video destroy my previous record for most watched videos in the time it was released. It was by far my #1, so thank you all for the support. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you to the person that pointed out to me, and their name escapes me right now, that changed the wording, so I pinned that to the comments, so thank you for that. I really can't do this without you all. So if you are not part of that XMG family, become part of that XMG family, because you are missing out on some good stuff coming your way. So let's get into General Murdoch for noobs. Alright, General Murdoch is a goblin, tactician, rogue, traveler, and a leader. So let's take a look at his stats. General Murdoch does physical damage, and he comes in at a very high 3,045 physical damage. He has a very good critical chance of 30.14. Has his health come in at a average 21,022. His physical armor is extremely high at 40%. His magical armor is also very high to start at 34.98%. His shield is also very nice to start, 29,982. His speed is a little bit above average at 155. His potency comes in at 26%, and his tenacity is at 28%. And for all you who want to see General Murdoch in action, when I go over his move kits, obviously you'll see his moves, but at the end of this video, there will be a Murdoch-led Goblin team with Dieselrog fighting a Shadar-led Demon team. So that is pretty interesting. If you want to check that out afterwards, make sure you make it to the end of the video, and it'll be there. So what did we learn overall about his stats? We learned that #1, he has fantastic shield and health combination. He is already over 40,000 before we even put runes on him. His physical armor and his magical armor are fantastic. His physical damage is great. His critical chance is great. His speed is a little bit above average, but he's not the fastest character in the world. So that could be one place we could focus on, is getting him speed. But let's take a look at his move kit and see if speed is really something we want to put on him. General Murdoch's first ability is called Snare. It deals 260% of physical damage to an enemy, inflicts a damage decrease for 2 turns. So we learned he needs physical damage and potency. Move 2. It's a trap. It deals 400% of physical damage to an enemy. If the target is inflicted by slow, it decreases their turn meter by 50%. If the target is afflicted by a damage decrease, it summons a random ally to help. So we learned that he needs physical damage for this move, but it's a trap. Even though it is #2 in his move kit, might have to be used after a basic, obviously, because that puts on the damage decrease, but he needs slow to reduce that turn meter. So for this move, we just need physical damage. Ability 3, Slow Bombing, deals 250% of physical damage to all enemies and has a 70% chance to inflict slow for 2 turns. So it's not a guaranteed slow, but he has a 70% chance on all enemies to inflict slow for 2 turns. So we learned physical damage and, again, potency. Fortified Mechanicism. I think I said that right. General Murdoch's skill, passive ability, gains 30% more potency against members of the Order, and then an additional 30% potency against elves. So that really helps if he's going against a Nightiel. That's about the only elf that is really run quite a bit. But you have the Order, so you have Solius, you have Patriarch Tree, you have Kinley, you know, there's many characters. So this brings up his subpar potency, coming in at 26%, I think it was. So he's going to have 56% facing the Order. So that his leadership ability is really, really good. All allied goblins boost their turn meter by 20% and have a 50% chance to summon a random goblin for help when dealing a critical hit. It can be triggered once per turn. So what does a once per turn mean? It means that he does his AoE ability, cannot have multiple summons. So you crit on all 5 people. That's awesome, but only one additional goblin is going to come in and help you. So you can't have like a mass barrage of assists. It's only going to be one person, and it is only a 50% chance, which I think is fair and good. But boosting their turn meter by 20%, that's awesome. So what did we learn by his move kit? We learned he needs physical damage, he needs potency. Now, you want him to go fast, but his leadership ability is definitely huge for his move kit. His leadership ability, number 1, increases your turn meter, can call an ally into assist. So, how can we ruin this guy? Now, of course, you could put on, if you have them, speed runes with a potency secondary. You could put on damage with a critical chance secondary to increase the assist chance. You could put on damage and a potency. You could put on critical chance and potency, much like we did for Slinger. So there's many different options for General Murdoch. Very free-to-play friendly options for Murdoch. Maybe a free-to-play player isn't going to have Murdoch. That could be a fair assumption. But the way I ruined him, and the way I've had the most success ruining him, and I've tried critical chance, I've tried potency, I've tried speed, the way I've had the most success is damage and potency. He hits a lot harder, and he can get a lot of those debuffs to stick. So I'm going to ruin him right now. I'm going to be right back, and then we'll check out the stats. Alright, everyone, I am back with a full rune amulet. And what I did, I went damage, and I went potency. And I said we'd go over stats, but before we go over the stats, we always got to look at the runes so you guys can see what I did. So what I went with in the top one, the northern rune, obviously I went damage. I am looking for secondary stats of critical chance, damage, health, survivability, but speed. I want speed as my secondary. We want to try to get him up to about a 180 speed. That puts him in a very good spot. So we have damage, health, armor, and speed. In the northeastern rune, I went with the speed primary, critical chance, potency. I'm sorry, we're also looking for potency, of course. Tenacity and shield. In the southeastern rune, I went, obviously, armor primary, damage, shield, and potency. In the southern rune, I gave up the 6% critical chance for the extra damage. And then I went with speed, potency, health, and critical chance. Then I went with shield, speed, armor, shield, and damage. And then I went with a potency primary in the northwestern rune with damage twice, critical chance, and health. So to make it a little simpler, the main stats you want to look for in the secondary categories is speed, damage, critical chance, and potency, and then survivability after that. So I wasn't as concerned about potency as the secondary stat because of the primary in the northwestern rune, but definitely damage, speed, critical chance, potency, in any order you want to put them in. Can't really make a mistake. So let's see what it did to his stats. General Murdoch's stats. His physical damage went up 700. He is at 3745. His critical chance went up 4% to 35.09%. If you want more of the assists, you can obviously range that up, but I am not that. I'd rather have him hit harder every time he goes to hit. Plus, you have to remember, when you assist, you automatically lose some of the damage that you can deal. So having higher damage means when you do assist, you're going to do more damage, etc. We brought up his health to 21,702, brought it up by 680. Very happy with that. Physical armor up 2%, essentially. and magic armor up 2.3%. So his physical armor is already over 40%, and his magic armor is 37%. You really can't go wrong with that. His shield, we brought up 4,152 to 34,134. We brought up his speed 30, bringing it to 185, so the perfect spot. We brought up his potency 35.67% to 61.67%. And then we brought up his tenacity 1%. So all in all, I'm extremely happy with what we did with General Murdoch. We brought up his health and shield to a combined 55,000 for a tactician and rogue. That is very good. We have his speed at a very respectable 185. So all in all, you cannot complain with what we did here. I think he is very, very good. So let's take a look at his abilities, and we'll talk about the scroll sync with Murdoch. Murdoch's first ability is Snare. So at level 2, it deals 115% of physical damage to an enemy and a 25% chance to inflict a damage decrease. So we're already getting the two things we want out of this move. He's dealing damage, and he has a chance to inflict an armor decrease. And as we go up, we get more physical damage and more chance to inflict the armor decrease. And his second ability, at level 2, we deal 170% of physical damage to an enemy. If the target is inflicted by slow, you're decreasing their turn meter by 15%. If the target is inflicted by a damage decrease, you summon a random ally to help. So we're already encapsulating everything in that move without putting any blue scrolls on him. And as we go up, we get more turn meter decrease and more physical damage. Then we have Slowing Bomb at level 2. It deals 110% of physical damage and has a 25% chance to inflict slow for 2 turns. So again, no blue scrolls, and we're already getting both things from the move. It's awesome. Then we have physical damage and more chance for slow as we go up. Then we have Fortified Mechanicism at level 2. General Murdoch's skills gain 10% more potency against members of the Order and 10% additional potency against elves. And then it just goes up and up and up as we go. And his leadership ability. At level 2, all allied goblins boost their turn meter by 10% and have a 20% chance to summon a random goblin for help. When dealing a critical hit, can be triggered once per turn. So we have a 20% chance, and we're boosting turn meter by 10%. Now as we go up, we get turn meter, summon help, summon help, summon help. So we just unlocked General Murdoch. What are we going to do? You're going to take all his abilities to level 2. And then you're going to come to his leadership, and you're going to take that right to level 6. You're not going to touch another thing until you take his leadership, because that is one of his best qualities, and you're getting so much from it, from taking it to level 2 to level 6. Then you are going to come to It's a Trap. You want that turn meter reduction with him. That's what makes him extremely deadly. So you're going to take that to level 6. Then you are going to take his Slowing Bomb to level 6 to get that 70% chance. Then you are going to take his Snare ability to level 6. And then you are going to take his passive ability to level 6. Now his passive ability, it's okay. It is, to me, 30% potency is awesome, but it's only against the Order. If it gave him 30% more potency and then 30% more for elves, then it would be different in the way we would do things. But this is the only move that when I didn't read it at first, I was like, it didn't blow me away. His leadership is fantastic. Everything else in his move kit ties in, and this way you're going to get the most out of everything. By taking his leadership to level 6 as fast as you can, you're getting so much more from your team of goblins than any other the moves would do to help him out. Giving them 20% turn meter and then giving a 50% chance to summon on a critical hit, that's big. So that's the way I would do it, because that's the way I feel you get the most out of General Murdoch. So YouTube, that's what I got for you on General Murdoch. I just wanted you to know he is a very fun character. He is cool to mess around with. I have messed around with some different comps on Murdoch. I haven't had a chance to test him in the raid yet, so I will be working on that. That is an upcoming video. But some team comps that I have seen and messed around with is, you know, General Murdoch running with Amara, Adam, Pigwald, and Major Shot. And then I've seen Pigwald taken out. I've seen Pigwald substituted for Kyra. And then I put in Diesel Rog, because Diesel Rog has the dispel mechanic for, if he has a critical hit, for every goblin on his team. Diesel Rog's kit is better with goblins than with orcs. So I haven't had a large amount of time to mess around with the Diesel Rog combination. So if you're interested to see it again, or if you're interested to see what it can do, check out the video that's coming up right after this. And again, thank you so much for the Slinger support. That Noob video just blew up for me. You know, it was huge. So thank you guys so much. I love everybody out there. I hope you enjoyed the Murdoch. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you got him. I love y'all. Be safe. Enjoy the video. And I'm out.